Okay, good evening everyone. I'm pretty sure I've fixed the issues with my sound this time, so I'm hoping you can all hear me talk. Anyway, I'd like to welcome you to this stream where I'll be showcasing my latest mod, Moonraker Master. So I have made some changes to this that will be spoiler relevant, so if you don't want to see spoilers, I would advise you to actually download and play the mod before you watch this. It will still be available after I've completed the stream. To give you a brief overview of what it is that I've actually changed in this mod. All enemies carry Moonraker lasers, and Bond starts the mission with a Moonraker laser. I've increased accuracy and reaction speed of guards to make the challenge a little bit more balanced, and I've put what I call nemesis characters on most levels that don't already have boss level enemies on them. So for example, you have Jaws appear on a level, Boris and so on. They have slightly higher ammunition and they have slightly higher armour, and they carry super weapons that you can't pick up. I've also made changes to quite a lot of the action blocks, and the guards that spawn through action blocks now in most cases will be Moonraker elites, and I've replaced some of the other guards in levels with them as well. So I'll talk a bit more about some mission specific changes as I get through to them. Anyway, now it's past 8 o'clock, so I'm going to give it a couple more minutes for more people to tune into the stream. Then I'm going to start actually playing through the mod. So with that, I'd just like to thank everyone who tunes in. So for anyone who's just picked up watching, I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes so that people can sort of start tuning in, and then I'll start playing through the first level. So hang tight and I will start playing through the mod in a moment. Okay, it doesn't look like we're going to get anyone else for the time being, so I'm going to actually make a start now. Hi Goldeneye 6490, I hope you can actually hear me this time. Thanks for coming on. So you can see here I added a slight little bit of zoom to the laser. The intention just to balance the challenge of the mod out a little bit. Can you actually hear me this time? That's great. The relief to see that that got fixed over the last one. So yeah, you can see here I have boosted the accuracy of these guards quite a bit. Now, on real hardware I would imagine that this would probably be a little bit more of a challenge, so it'd be interesting to see if Adzi or Graslow ever tried to give it a play, how it comes across on new hardware, as I don't actually have an N64 to test it on anymore. Yeah, I replaced the original guard that was there with a Moonraker Elite and doubled their lasers up. Oops, wrong item. So when you go into the setup editor and have a look at all the objects, you can click on the doors and there'll be a value in hex. You can translate it into decimal, but it basically gives you a speed in world units. If you sort of increase the speed, so say for example I set those doors to 999, so you use a hex converter to convert it into decimal, and then I just change the speed through that. It's something you can do on every level for every door. I generally just find waiting around for the doors in this game to open to be quite tedious, so something that I've changed on quite a lot of levels. Thank you, I appreciate that. I also did other stuff to the action blocks to make guards on most levels a little bit more prone to throwing grenades. So you see a grenade actually got tossed there, and guards on dam don't usually carry them. So I only set the odds to 9%, so they won't be pulling a ton of them all the time, but I hoped it would make things just a little bit more interesting. So although these Nemesis guards carry these extra weapons, I've set them all to be so that they cannot be picked up. Just more for my own amusement really, I set most of the boxes here to also explode after a single shot. I'm actually playing this one with a keyboard and mouse, but I'm hoping to see someone play it with a real N64, as I imagine it is going to be quite a lot more challenging. This is only intended really to be a showcase. The people who are going to play it on real hardware will experience a lot more challenge than I am here. Looks like that guy just dropped a grenade as well. In terms of actual changes to facility, this isn't something new to this mod, it's something I do in general because I like having the whole level open. So I've unlocked most locked doors apart from the one to the bottling room, and all the key cards have now been removed from the level. I did it here on Caverns and on Bunker 2. Any keys that are required to be picked up for objectives have been left in the game. Yeah, but basically all of the guards in the game that are governed by action blocks, I set the action blocks to all set a grenade toss probability of either 9 or 10%, so that there's a small chance that guards on all levels now will toss grenades, and on the levels where guards already toss grenades, more of them will now be likely to do so. How much the change tends to be noticeable will be quite variable level to level. For example, you saw 2 guards pulled and tossed grenades on Dam, and you would immediately notice that because none of them usually did. On levels like this it's less obvious, but I'm hoping for people who do play the mod it might make it just a little bit more dynamic and challenging. Yeah, see there, the one wild card is that on this one I set my nemesis character to one of the roaming guards in the form of Oddjob, so it is pot luck as to where he's gonna be at any one time. It'll be interesting to see how people fare with that when they play it on the original hardware. Hi Achilles, thank you for coming onto my stream. Yeah, what I did with the Nemesis characters is I sort of picked a few of the more interesting ones and put them essentially on all levels that don't already have boss level characters on them. Most of them have normal health, and then they carry 300% armour, so they're not as difficult to kill as, like, say, Trevelyan, Xenia and what have you, but they're a bit more challenging than the regular guards are. Be a bit more careful so that he doesn't hose me this time. Those guards are the ones that spawn through the action block, the 4 that appear down there. It actually requires quite extensive edits to the action block even to do little things like spawning those hats on them. Because the editor currently doesn't have the option to do bulk replacement, it can be quite time consuming just to do that. But all of the guards that, or the majority of guards that spawn through action blocks will now be Moonraker elites. Yeah, that'd be cool. If you let me know when you're what time you're going to be doing it, I'll be happy to jump into your chat and talk to your followers. There goes one of the extra grenade guards. Okay, I'll just pause playing for a second and grab you my username as I can't remember it offhand. So that's the username I'm currently using. Add me as a friend and I'll accept it when I finish the stream. I can't remember if I saw... did I see Doke? There is interestingly a weird bug in the setup editor that causes this scientist to get stuck inside that table, so to make the level work properly you have to actually manually edit his position. It happens in Silo as well. So in terms of this level, I didn't really change an awful lot. It's mostly just a case of editing the guards that spawn through action blocks so that they appear as Moonraker elites. Hi Brandon, thanks for coming to my stream. Sorry for not getting back to you the other day, Brandon. I was quite busy doing stuff with my family at the time. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. Thanks. I'll add you once I've finished the stream, and then yeah, you can let me know when your stream goes live. So yeah, if you have a quick look now, you can see that all of these guards are now Moonraker Elites. They still spawn with a mixture of single and double weapons, so I didn't change that, just what they spawned with. They do shoot a little more accurately, but not quite as bad as on some other levels, so I wanted to keep this one fair. The game changes to this level have generally been quite minimal for the most part. I replaced this guy with a Moonraker Elite. Where I've set Moonraker Elite to spawn through action blocks, they are actually a mixture of the male and female guard models. So the normal placed guards are still on the level in the snowsuits, but the guards that are spawning through action blocks are mostly Moonraker Elites now. Felt that fit most of the mod. You occasionally just get texture corruption like this. It's something, I'm not sure what, but something to do with the emulator. They also changed it so that they can hit you from a lot further away. So I think this level would also prove to be quite challenging on real hardware. This level did require a little more rewriting, as this was one of those ones where I removed the key cards and unlocked all the doors. It's going to make things a bit more difficult. Hurry up, please. So yeah, as it's always been questioned why you're given so much plastic on this level, I cut it down to 4, make it a tiny bit more challenging. So interestingly, this part of Silo, the card that I just picked up, causes an annoying issue in the setup editor. These seem to fall down to the floor for whatever reason. It happens to this one, to the card on level 3. It happens to the bombs on Frigate, and to the golden gun and the ammo on Egyptian. The only way that I've found to remedy that is to tick the flag in air and then position the items manually. The only downside of that is that if the thing that it's sitting on gets destroyed, it sort of floats there in mid-air randomly. I'm not quite sure why the setup editor actually does that, but it is a bit of a pain. Now technically the levels do function just fine even with the items falling to the floor, but I prefer to fix it. Generally I prefer to try to retain the feel of the original levels wherever I can. Get out of my way. Yeah, that one's the other one on Silo that does it. Come on, out of my way. So almost all levels apart from the first body armour on Streets and the one on Aztec have had their body armour removed. There's also still one, but only one present on Control. So if you're close to the amount of scientist kills you have, then you don't get them out of this room, then they can be killed when the plastique goes off, and that will cause you to fail the objective even after the title screen. So you can get around that problem by escorting them out of the level early. One thing that I don't see get mentioned a lot is that you actually can kill Oromov on this level. The logic that makes him run off after taking a certain amount of damage only kicks in when you go within line of sight of Oromov, so shoot at him before that happens. You can just kill him prematurely. Oops. Conveniently forgot about that. There goes the increased chances of grenades going up. Almost every guard can now drop them, so get some nasty surprises like that. mistake again. That's more like it. This particular level actually required some of the more extensive rewriting. All of the guards in this one just use a generic action block that makes them wait for a bomb to appear and then attack. So I had to actually write my own custom action blocks for this one to boost the accuracy and reaction speed of the guards. Otherwise there's not a massive amount of changes in this level. Usually, for a completely unknown reason, the doors to these bridge wings are locked off, and when you open them, they open you outwards and block you from gaining access. So I deleted the doors just so people can go out and have a look. There's nothing there, it's just one of those weird things that got left over from beta for some reason. Oh crap, run away from the grenade. Idiots. I did set the odds of pulling grenades are only 9.5%, so I'm not sure why so many are pulling them on this level. I think it must just be random luck. Waste. So on this level, you can, the action blocks don't just govern the guards that spawn automatically like this. You can actually even change the guards and the weapons that appear in the cutscene. So I've changed them all to Moonraker Elite with lasers, and you'll see that when I get to the end of the level. So this is another level where I've unlocked all the doors from the get-go. also made quite a lot of extensive changes to the pre-placed guards. There were a lot more of these special guards. And I've made a lot more of them double wheeled as well. Dual wheeled even. So the amount of changes made to this level are also fairly minimal. I've removed the body armour and all of the action block guards will be Moonraker Elite. Apart from that, it mostly plays the same. If anyone viewing has questions, do feel free to leave them in the chat. Thank you, Brandon. I hope you're enjoying the stream. I'm not quite sure why, but on the rather old mod that I made, the Golden Gun Run mod, putting golden guns on those guards would cause them simply to disappear. It only seems to be Golden Guns that does that. Well, they didn't disappear technically, they just didn't spawn at all, which is strange, but there you go. It's one weird thing you find when you're modding. So on this level I actually changed both the cabinets and all of the boxes to explode after a single shot. So if these ones blow up, they set off a chain reaction that causes the box in the hallway to explode, then the boxes in the basement explode, and it kills the guard in this room without you having to do anything, which is quite amusing. Now that's nothing to do with the mod, it's sometimes it gets strange artifacts like that because of the emulator. One interesting thing about this level, I didn't actually want to break the scripting, so I left most of the action blocks as they are and just replaced the weapons, so you get this funny situation where even though the guards that would usually have rocket launchers have lasers, they still sort of crouch and remain in position, which looks quite funny. I also significantly reduced the amount of body armour available on this level to make it a bit tougher. There's no particular reason I chose her for my nemesis on this level. She's just an interesting character model that never seems to get used anywhere else. Now that is the only body armour left on this level. The level's still pretty easy playing in an emulator, but I imagine it will make it more challenging for someone doing it on original hardware. By default, a lot of the guards on this level have quite a high chance of pulling grenades, so this is one of the levels where I didn't edit the grenade pull chance as much. So just an interesting little fact, that vehicle actually has a hand grenade hidden inside it, and the action block makes it detonate when you close out the level. Player with the laser off, taking all of the explosives out of this room. See if we can get the guard coming up. that guy will take you by surprise if you forget that he's there. Again, there's no reason that I chose the helicopter pilot, it's just another fun enemy that's not actually used during the main campaign. Got them to come out this time. He's definitely going to be a challenging enemy on real hardware. Right, seeing those guys get shot actually lured the helicopter pilot out last time, so this time we'll leave them be. On this, guards absolutely hose you when they use weapons like this, so I actually made these boxes invincible. Just add things out a little. And I've also unlocked some of the doors on this one, so you can both explore the back zone and you can see inside the doors that are usually locked. There's actually quite a number of fully modelled rooms on this level that are never accessible on account of them being locked, even ones that guards don't come out of. I'm not quite sure why the game is designed in that way, but a lot of wasted effort went into areas that players don't usually see. For example, a lot of these rooms are usually locked, even though you can see there's still items inside them, and these ones are even fully modelled, even though you can't usually get into them. Also usually locked, and it's quite detailed, as you can see. So these slats are not actually locked, there's just a flag enabled to stop the user operating them, but if you remove that flag you can actually open it and have a look in this area. I'm not sure why this was fully modelled either, given that the player can never normally access it. I will just be taking a very brief toilet break and I'll be back in about a minute. This is just an unused music file that was left in the game. I'm not sure why they elected not to use it. Otherwise I haven't made a massive amount of changes to Jungle. I did up the draw distance ever so slightly, so it might run amazingly on real hardware. And it already can be a bit of a laggy level. removed all of the body armour on this level to make it a lot more challenging. Even on Double O Agent, this level has 3 lots of body armour, which is a little bit much for a pro player. Replaced Zemia's RCP-90 with a laser, and I significantly upped her health. Hi Sam, thank you for viewing. These guys here basically infinitely respawn after you take out the guards. So I'd set them as Moonraker elites as well. So this level did get some more extensive modification. My nemesis character on this one is Trevelyan, and I actually changed his AI completely. Now instead of just closing the door, he actually comes out of the lift near the end of the level and attacks you. In addition to that, I've unlocked all of the doors. You can go through the back zone immediately when you get into that area. This door here is the only one that remains locked, and that's just to allow Natalia to finish her work. And on this level it's quite well known by now that guards at the end, when Natalia triggers the hacking alarm, guards with black berets attack Bond and the guards with no berets attack Natalia. Well, in most levels I've put Moonraker Elite hats on all of the guards, but on this level the Moonraker Elite hats will only spawn on the guards that attack Bond, so people still have a way of identifying which one's which. I again did cut the amount of body armour on this level down from 2 to 1. So the piece that's normally there no longer spawns. You see there, the Trevelyan has actually got a rocket launcher and he comes out of the elevator and attacks you. The fact that I've only got 1 bar of health left is going to make the rest of this level a touch tricky. So you see the one that attacked me has got the elite helmet and some of these guards don't have them, so I kept that little piece intact. Reason when you stand here, guards spawn somewhere. They don't actually always stand behind there, they just keep shooting at the glass. I'm not sure exactly what's triggering that bug, but standing here must break their pathfinding somehow. Get stuck against the glass. The extra resolution does actually make it a lot easier on emulator, but I'm hoping if any streamers play this on real hardware that it might make for a more interesting challenge. At this level I also completely rewrote Trevelyan's AI, so now instead of running off he will actually attack you with the grenade launcher. I'll just show you here. Seem to be shooting at me, which is strange. I think there's a bug there that needs to be fixed, so I will check into that and replace the upload once I've finished the stream. So this level is also one where I open the doors and remove the key card, just in case you were wondering why that happened. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened with Trevelyan there at the start. When I tested this privately, his shooting did work, but I will fix that and upload a replacement. The link will be the same. I'll drop a comment on the video when that's done. So for this one, all that I really changed was making all the respawning guards wear Moonraker outfits, and I put information about my own social media in replacement for the dialogue. Trevelyan still is crazy accurate, and because he carries guns, that does make this level a touch more challenging. Whether or not he actually opens fire is somewhat random, so that makes this a little more annoying. did hide an additional little surprise during the ending sequence, but as I don't wish to spoil that, I'm going to skip it for now and go on to Aztec. This level isn't that much altered really. About half of the guards already carry lasers, but the action block guards now do split between male and female guards. Accuracy should be about the same, so the first half of the level might be a little bit more challenging and the second half of the level should play out about the same. On this level I've, as you can see, replaced Jaws ARs with a rocket launcher, which should in theory make him a much more dangerous enemy. I haven't really changed an awful lot on Egyptian either, but there is no golden gun, even that's been replaced with a laser. So that means you can no longer one-shot Baron Samedi, and I've also changed all of the action block guards so that they spawn when that guy at the start gets killed. So with that happening, it should make more guards appear sooner. Whether it'll make the level more challenging for a pro or not remains to be seen, but that's the intention. So you see that already appearing now before I even move on to my second encounter. So I didn't have any extra levels, so this is the end of the mod for now. So I would advise people to hold off downloading it at least for a little bit until I can fix that minor bug with Trevelyan on caverns. Otherwise I'm gonna hang around for a couple of minutes just in case anyone has any questions that they'd like me to answer, and then I'm gonna finish the stream up. So I'd just like to thank everyone who's watched and say that I hope those of you that play the mod choose to do enjoy it, and if anyone does play the mod and they live stream it, feel free to leave a comment, and if I'm available I will try and drop into your chat. It doesn't look as if anyone else has anything they would like to say or would like to ask me, so I'm going to finish the stream now, so I'd like to once again thank all of you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little showcase of the mod, and I hope you enjoy playing it and my other mods. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.